So I've been wanting to do some food for hiking, something easy you can make at home and not need to buy pre-packaged meals that are quite expensive or muck around with a dehydrator or whatever. So you can get TVP, textured vegetable protein, pretty easily from the supermarket. So I'm trying to just experiment with that and just use pantry staples for the rest, so you can make up something that's lightweight to take and cook in one pot for your hiking. Okay, here's my experiment. I'm going to try to make this beef biryani recipe from the Recipe 10 Eats book, which uses mince, and it's like a quick biryani. But for hiking, we're going to cook it on the jet boil stove thing and use the TVP. And the rest of everything else is just spices and some basmati rice. So I'm just going to portion all that out and then see if I can just cook it as like a one pot meal. So I'm going to try about 50 grams of this TVP. It looks like cat food, but we'll see. So I think that's it all fit in this pot. Okay, these are the spices. So I've got onion powder, garlic powder, ginger powder, stock, garam masala, paprika, turmeric, cinnamon, and that's it for those ones. And then these are the whole spices that will go on top. All right, I'm gonna mix all these together. Let's go in for a couple of teaspoons of this. Let's go about 80 grams of rice, I think. And then half of these dry spices. One leaf. Half of this guy. And then I'm using this much water, which is a small container from the pot set, which I'm just guessing, I don't know, it's half the big container now. And now we just simmer it. Okay, so it comes to the boil really quickly. This baby's on about as low as it can go. Okay, so it's been simmering for about 5 minutes or so. Most of the water's absorbed. I don't think I got the ratio quite right with the rice. I need a bit more rice to the TVP. So I'm thinking I'm going to cook it for a minute or two more and then just leave it and maybe let it sit for about 10 minutes to soften up. Okay, so that's had enough cooking. Most of the moisture is gone. I'm just going to leave it sit for, let's say, 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. I'm just letting it sit. It's looking good. So let's get rid of the bay leaf. Let's do a bit of a taste test. Yeah, it's quite nice. Anyway, I've got some other things out of the cupboard. Probably not traditional, but I reckon some slithered almonds will give it a nice texture. Something else lightweight to carry. Some of this methi. Maybe you could have like coriander leaves. Can you get dry coriander leaves? That might be work. And then also for the cut out onion, you can put these fried shallots. This is a bit, might not be quite the right flavour, but let's just put a little bit of that on. Just to kind of pimp it out a bit and give it a bit more texture and flavour. And of course I almost forgot some chili flakes, got to have that in there too. So the TVP, which I've not had before, this is it reconstituted. Like, you're not going to think it's meat, but it has a kind of a similar texture to kind of soft mince, I guess. And something like this with lots of spices, it's edible. And it'll certainly be fine for hiking. I'm actually quite enjoying this. So I finished my meal now. It was quite good. There's plenty for just your average Saturday weekend lunch. But if I was doing a big hike, maybe I'd up that quantity of rice to 100 grams. So you'd have 50 grams of TVP, 100 grams of rice, and then 1.5 cups of water. And you could probably need about a heaped teaspoon of the spice mix, I reckon. and it's good. Maybe a little bit more salt, but you don't really need that.